Hey guys, this is Eddie the Magic Monk. Welcome to another surds video. Today we want to talk about multiplication in surds. Now before we get to surds, I just want to remind you guys, if we have, for example, in algebra, let's say we have 5x plus 6x, the answer is 11x because all we're doing is adding the numbers in front. But if we were multiplying, let's say 5x times 6x, then the answer is 30x squared. Okay, now what if we did 5x plus 6y in algebra? Well, we couldn't do anything because they're not like terms. But if we were multiplying 5x times 6y, then the answer is 30xy. So hopefully you guys would already be comfortable with that before you start anything to do with surds. Okay, so now we're going to apply this concept with surds. So previously we just learned that, for example, if we have 5 times the square root of 2 plus 6 times the square root of 2, then the answer is 11 square root of 2. And now we're going to do the same thing with times. If we had 5 square root of 2 times 6 square root of 2, then what happens is we will have 5 times 6, which is 30, and then we have square root of 2 times square root of 2. So what happens when you times a surd by itself? Then the answer is just 2, right? Because, I'll just write a little note on the side, because square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just equal to 2. Right? The square root of a number times the square root of the same number gives you that number without the square root sign. Okay, now what happened? So the answer is 60. Okay, now what happens if I have square root of 5 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 3? Well, that is exactly the answer because you can't do anything with it because they're not like terms. Okay, so this sort of matches this equation here. Use a different color. This equation here sort of matches this equation here. Right, you can't do anything because they're not like terms. Okay, now let's do another one. Let's do 5x times 6y equals 30xy. So instead of x and y, I'm going to use 5 square root of 2 times 6 square root of 3, and the answer is 30 times square root of 2 times square root of 3, which is 30 square root of 6. So you can see that all we have done is we get the number on the inside multiplied by the number on the inside of the other term inside the square root sign. So 2 times 3, and we put the answer inside the square root sign, which gives us 6. Very simple. Okay, and now we're going to give you a general formula for doing multiplication in surds. So the general formula is, general formula for multiplying surds is if we have a times square root of x times b times square root of x, b square root of y, the answer is a times b times square root of xy. So you don't really need this general formula. You can sort of just figure it out in your head. But if you want a formula to help you, then that is the formula for multiplying in surds. Okay, so let's do an example. Have a go at this and come back when you're done. Okay, so the answer is 6 times 7, which is 42. And inside the square root sign is 3 times 5, which is 15. And can you think of any square numbers that can multiply into 15? Well, 2 times or 4 times nothing will give you 15. Well, not a whole number. And I can't think of anything for 9. So this is the smallest number inside the square root sign. And therefore, that is our final solution. Okay, I'll give you guys another one. Have a go at this one and come back when you're done. So we have 6 times 2 is 12 and 5 times 10, which is 50. Now, is that the final answer? Well, if you have a look at the number 50, you can definitely think of two numbers that multiply together to give you 50, can't you? So I can think of 50 times 1, 25 times 2, 5 times 10. There's a lot of different combinations, but which one do you pick? Well, 25 times 2 is the one that you pick because 25 is a square number. So let's do that one. So we have equals 12 times square root of 25 times square root of 2. So now the square root of 25 can be simplified as 5. So the answer is 60 square root of 2. Now, I hope you guys don't get mad at me for mentioning this so late. But whenever we square root a number, so for example, let's say we square root 25, the answer, even though that is 5, it can also be negative 5. So the answer is either positive 5 or negative 5. So therefore, square root of 25 is actually plus minus 5, like that, right? Because the answer can be either positive or negative. So then when we square rooted the number 25, actually I'm just gonna do this part again so you guys can see it. So then when we square root 25, we can actually write positive or negative 5 here times square root of 2. So therefore what that means is when we multiply 5 by 12, we can either get positive or negative 60 square root of 2. Now, this positive or negative, this part here, in some countries or schools or whatever, the teacher probably won't require you to write this, but you can write it on the safe side. It's definitely the correct answer to include that. Okay, so I'm sorry for bringing that up right now after you've done all those questions previously, but it's never too late. So that's the correct notation. Okay, so have a go at this last one before we finish, and come back when you're done. Okay, so the answer to that is we're going to simplify the numbers by multiplying both terms inside the square root signs together. So actually, just before we do that, it might be easier to simplify a little bit first. So we have square root of 10 times square root of x squared times square root of y times square root of 12 times square root of x times square root of y cubed. Okay, so we can already get rid of the square root of x squared, so that's just let me use a different colored pen so I can cross this number out, cross that out. Actually, that color is not very good. So square root of x squared is just x. Square root of 12, well, 12 is 4 times 3. So that is square root of 4 times square root of 3, which then square root of 4 then turns into 2. So so then let's combine that now. So we have 2 times, square root of 10 times x times square root of y times 2 times square root of 3 times square root of x times square root of y cubed. Probably would have been easier if we combined them first, but anyway. Okay, so now we can combine it all together. So I have 2x times the square root of 10 times y times, so that's gone, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone, times 3 times x times y cubed. So I have 2x times the square root of 30 y to the power of 4 x. Yep. Okay, now we can still simplify this even further, right? So why can we simplify it further? Because the y to the power of 4 can be simplified into so 2x times 30x times square root of y to the power of 4. Y to the power of 4 square root. So that's y to the power of 4 to the power of a half is the same as a square root. So you get y to the power of 2, because 4 times a half is 2. So therefore I can rewrite this as 2x y to the power of 2 times the square root of 30x. Now think in your head, are there two numbers that multiply together to give you 30 where one of the numbers is a square number? So it can't be 4, it can't be 9, and it can't be 16. So the answer is no. So that is your final answer. Okay, I know before I said that that was the last question. Sorry guys, I lied. So I want you to do a bit more today. So please try and get through this. It'll be helpful to you to do more questions. Okay, so what I want you to do is try and find the area of a triangle if the base has a length of 3 times the square root of x cubed, and the height of a triangle has a length of square root of 75 y squared. So try to look up the area of a triangle yourself if you can't remember the formula for the area of a triangle, because it helps you to do some research yourself rather than just looking at me giving you the answer. So have a go at it, come back when you're done. Okay, so area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or half base times height. So now I have the base, which is 3 square root of x cubed, times the height, which is square root of 75 y squared, times by a half. Okay, so now I'm going to rewrite this as 3 times a half times the square root of, now I'm combining these two surds into 75 x cubed y squared. Okay, so now 3 times a half is 3 over 2 and inside the square root sign I have 75 can be broken up into 25 times 3 times x cubed can be broken up into x squared times x, and y squared is just y, so I'll just leave that there. So therefore I have 3 over 2 times square root of 25 is 5, so that's gone. Square root of x squared is x, so that's gone. And square root of y squared is y, so that's gone. And the rest of it is still inside the square root sign because we can't do anything. Now remember, whenever we square root something, the answer is positive or negative. So we're just going to put positive or negative in front of the whole thing. So I have 3 times 5, it's 15 xy over 2, and then I have times the square root of 3x at the top. Okay, so that is my final answer, and if you can find a mistake in that, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.